Erev Tov Rabotai, we are continuing with our Mishna Yomi, Masechet Bava Batra. We are up to Perek Bet, Mishnah Yud Gimel. Today's Mishnayot should be Le'elu Nishmat Neria ben Svetlana Ranbai Eliyahu ben Burcha Israelov Chana bad Miriam Sason ben Rain Yoshua ben Shifra Menuchatam beGan Eden Amen. And Lavdi ben Chaim lechaim v'derefua shelemav Daniel Shalom ben Rosa betoch shachol Israel and Achlama Merav Binyamin Or Tzion Chai ben Dvorah. The Mishnah discusses what is done when the branches of a tree overhang a neighbor's property. Ilan shu notel lisdei chavero, if the branches of someone's tree extend into the field of his neighbor, kotzetz melo amardea al gabei macharesha, the neighbor may cut back any overhanging branches that are lower than the height of an ox goad that is being held by a person who is standing on the plow. This is a stick held by the plow driver. It was used to strike the oxen pulling the plow when it was necessary to urge them along. If the overhanging branches are so low that a person guiding a plow underneath them will not be able to raise the ox goad without hitting the branches, he may trim them back. If the overhanging branches are higher than this, however, he must leave them alone. Now, two exceptions to this rule, ubecharuv uvashikma, but if the overhanging tree is a carob or a sycamore tree, keneged mishkolet, he may cut back all of the overhanging branches along the plumb line, meaning the boundary of the field. The plumb line is a builder's tool used to ensure that a wall is perfectly vertical. When the Mishnah says that the branches may be cut back along the plumb line, it means that one draws an imaginary vertical wall along the edge of the property, and any branches that cross it and hang over the neighbor's field may be trimmed back. Now, these trees have many branches and cast dense shade, which can be harmful to crops growing in the field because they block the sunlight. Therefore, any overhanging branches of such trees may be cut along the property line, regardless of their height. Bet shlachin, and if the neighboring property is an irrigated field, kol ha'ilan keneged mishkolet, the neighbor may cut all overhanging branches of any trees along the plumb line. Overhanging branches are especially harmful to the crops in an irrigated field. Since an irrigated field is generally drier than other fields, it has a greater need for dew. Therefore, the overhanging branches which prevent dew from falling are especially harmful to such a field. Therefore, even if the branches are higher than a raised ox goad, the neighbor may cut them back. Now, the ruling of the first Tana, that overhanging branches may be trimmed back to the height of a raised ox goad, applies both to fruit-bearing trees and trees that do not bear fruit. Another Tana disagrees. Abba Shaul says, Kol ilan tzra keneged mishkolet, overhanging branches of all shade, non-bearing fruit trees may be cut back along the plumb line, even if they are higher than a raised ox goad. According to Abba Shaul, since removing the branches of a tree that does not bear fruit does not cause much of a loss, the owner of the field may trim back all overhanging branches regardless of their height. And the Rav tells us, Abba Shaul, the Halakha does not follow the opinion of Abba Shaul. Now, that is the end of Mishnah Yud Gimel. The final Mishnah of the chapter, Mishnah Yud Daled, cites three opinions about what is done with branches that overhang a public street. Ilan shu notel lirshut harabim, if the branches of a tree extend over a public street. Kotzetz kedei sheyeh gamal over v'rochvo, we cut the branches so that a camel and its rider, which is the tallest item that will normally pass through a public street, can pass beneath them. We are not concerned that the branches will grow back once they are cut and once again block traffic, because they are clearly visible and will be trimmed whenever it is necessary. Another Tana disagrees. Rabbi Yehuda says, Gamal ta'un pishtan o chavilei zmorot, they may be trimmed back only to the height of a camel carrying bundles of flax or twigs, which is less than the height of a camel and its rider. Rabbi Yehuda holds that it's not necessary to clear the branches to the height of a camel and its rider, because the rider can duck beneath the branches. It is enough to trim them back to allow for the passage of a camel that is carrying bundles. A third Tana does not allow any branches to overhang a public street. Rabbi Shimon says, Kol ha'ilan keneged mishkolet, every tree that overhangs the public domain is cut back along the plumb line, meaning all branches that overhang a public street are cut back to the boundary. Bipnei tum'ah, because of tum'ah, a branch that overhangs the street can form an ohel, a roof over a source of tum'ah, such as a small piece of a corpse that a bird dropped into the street. If a person walking in the street passes under that branch so that it forms a roof over him and over the source of tum'ah at the same time, he will become tameh without realizing it. Rabbi Shimon holds that to prevent this from occurring, all branches overhanging the public domain must be trimmed back completely, no matter how high over the street they are. The Tana Kama and Rabbi Yehuda, however, disagree because they consider it unlikely this would happen, and the Rav tells us V'alacha ki Tana Kama bilvad, the halacha only follows the opinion of the Tana Kama. And that is the Rabotai of today's Mishna Yomi. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen v'amen.